This is your hairstylist, Benja Hair Arts. Today, I want to talk about the issue that you find most of the ladies, they doesn't have the hair along the hairline. Now, that issue, we call it traction alopecia. I want to talk about the cause and how you can do to manage it, or how you can do to make sure that your hair is back. Let's start with the cause. Now, one of the major causes that causes the traction alopecia is because of the tight plaiting or tight ponytail. What happens when you do that? When you do a tight plaiting at the hairline, remember this one, we call them baby hairs. That means they are not mature enough to withhold or withstand that kind of heaviness of that braid. So what happens is that once you plait it and then you pull it back, you always create that tension along these follicles that are along the hairlines. Now what happens, since they are not mature enough, they tend to open. That stress, you're giving them stress, they tend to open, and after opening them, there is a specific bacteria that is known as staphylococcus bacteria. That's the one that attacks the follicle. Now when you do it repeatedly, that's when worse goes to worse, because now the bacteria will keep doing the infection there. And for you to know that there is infection there, sometimes you tend to find there are some tiny pimples that they look like yellow, something like that. Now the yellowing, that's what the infection is, caused by the staphylococcus bacteria. Those are the parts that are caused by staphylococcus bacteria. Now the other one is doing ponytail gel. Most of the women, you like doing ponytails gel, and then you put a lot of tension at the middle. Now you find that pulling this hair, this baby hair like that, it also creates that tension, and then the infection is caused as explained there earlier. And the other one is doing wigs. Nowadays ladies with wigs, you are doing a lot of wigs, and doing wigs is okay, but nowadays you're putting glue. That's the worst thing. You put a glue that even can last a month. By the time you're coming to remove it, it creates that tension, and what will happen? Nywele yako imeenda. So those are some of the major causes that are causing the loss of hair loss along the hairline. And now there is this other one, postpartum alopecia. That one is okay, because that one you can't control it. That one we call it hormonal imbalance, especially when women are breastfeeding. So that means after breastfeeding, the hair will come back itself, of which that no one can control it. Ikikuja imekuja. So let's look at how you can do to avoid such a kind of hair loss. Number one, avoid creating tension. Avoid creating tension along the hairline. If you have to plait it, leave the hairline alone. The hairline, you can be applying the gel to lay the edges, but don't plait the hairline. Most of you want that neatness, but what is born after that neatness is loss of hair. Avoid that hairline. Even if you're doing the gel, avoid the hairline. Now for those who do wigs, I don't know how I will help you. Maybe I'll tell you, avoid wigs. Yeah. Now there is another way, because it's self-reversal. So if you give it a room for improvement, it will improve, it will grow back. But if you keep on repeating it, there will come a time that now the follicles will be attacked, and there will be no more hair to be seen. The skin will be very smooth. Now at that point, you might need a trichologist if Afro Thrive oil will not work. Now the other option, one is self-reverse. No, one is just giving it a room to improve, because it's self-reversible, and there you have to eat a very well balanced diet food, yeah, for it to reverse, because hair depends on our diet. Now the other one is using oils that have growth factors, and one of the oil that I normally recommend is Afro Drive oil. The reason being is 100% organic, made of amla, cloves, lavender, and rosemary. If you go and look about the amla, the clove, the lavender, and rosemary, you'll get to understand why I always recommend Afro Drive oil. Now, applying Afro Drive, you have to apply it for about 3 times a week. 3 times a week for 90 days. Let me tell you guys, you have to be consistency for you to see the results. 3 times a week for 90 days. Now, if you decide to go the other way, the option A, to let it come back, is okay, but there will always be the difference between letting it come back naturally and using Afro Drive. Because what Afro Drive does, it gets into the scalp, directly to the dermal papilla through the follicle. It accelerates cell mitosis. While it accelerates, it also makes the hair thicken from the root, not at the hair shaft, but from the root. So the other option, letting it grow naturally, your hair will just grow according to how the rest of the hair grows. But with Afro Drive, that will accelerate. So in the 90 days, when you have used Afro Drive and when you have not used the Afro Drive, you will see the difference in both, in the two. That the one have used Afro Drive, in 90 days the hair is longer and thicker. The one have not used Afro Drive, in 90 days the hair is still growing, but it's still growing with the same let me say thickness, or with the same diameter as it has always been growing there earlier. Thank you guys. If you have any question, just write down there the comment, and then I'll put a link there so as you can see what I'm talking about Afro Drive. Thank you very much. See you next time.